Hello, I'm Eddie Anderson, Global Practice Leader for ProjectWise at Bentley Systems. Today I'm going to take you through a couple of simple workflows for editing PDF files through Bentley's ProjectWise iPad app. So the first thing I want to do is get a couple of PDFs that I can play with here. So I'm going to grab a couple of PDFs from my desktop and just drag and drop those into ProjectWise. Now I am using the ProjectWise Explorer, the desktop version. And I'll get these two files in here. Once I do that, then I'm actually going to switch back over and start using my iPad for the rest of this. So now I've got the ProjectWise app that I'll just open up, and that's going to list out my data sources that I can connect to. I'll go ahead and open up a data source and navigate to a folder. Now this is the folder location in which I just drug the two PDF files to, and you'll notice that they're not listed there, and that's because we're caching as much information as possible. So what I can do is just kind of swipe down on that folder structure to update it, and now we actually see our two PDFs. So I'm going to do two different workflows with these. One of them, I'll go ahead and just click on the first PDF there, and it shows up in the background, so I can now, zoom in and pan around and take a look at this particular PDF file. And at the top right, I can select on my menu, and towards the bottom there is a checkout. So I'm going to go ahead and check out this file, which checked it out to my iPad. If I actually went back over to my ProjectWise Explorer here and did an F5 to update, you would see that the file is now checked out. Let's get back over to the iPad. And I'm going to say I want to open in. And when I do that, I'm going to get a list of applications that are loaded on my iPad that can deal with PDF files. So I'm going to do the Adobe Reader, which now opens up that particular PDF file inside of my Adobe Reader on my iPad, and I still have my zoom and my pan capability, but I also have some markup tools towards the top. So at this point, I can come in, I can do things like draw on it with my finger, make gestures, arrows, whatever. I can also do text. So let me go ahead and select a piece of text, and this should be, let's do 402, and I'll save that. And maybe I want to highlight the text as well from the PDF, so I'll go ahead and highlight that, and we'll call it a markup, if you will. So at this point, I can then use this button to open this particular file, open in, and you'll notice that ProjectWise is one of the available apps, so I'll click on Open in ProjectWise. So that comes up, and on the very opening screen there, you'll see that my most recent checkout, so all the files that I have checked out are going to show up inside of there, and you'll notice that I can hit Replace. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that. I'm also going to check it in. So at that point, let me go back over here and let me refresh my screen. And I'm going to go ahead and double click on that first PDF file. And you'll see our markups are back in the ProjectWise. So I was able to completely check out a file, make changes to that file, and check it back into ProjectWise. Now the second workflow that I want to do is where I'm creating more of a markup file or an overlay file inside of ProjectWise. So let's go back over to the iPad, and I'm going to go to that same folder, and this time we're going to take the first PDF file, and this one I'm not going to do a checkout, but I am going to say I want to open that up in my Acrobat PDF Reader, and I'll go through and same tools available, so I can come in here, maybe make some changes, mark up notes, and so forth. But this time when I'm done with it, I'll say the same thing. I want to open it back in ProjectWise, which This time it didn't show up as a replace because I didn't have the file checked out, but you'll notice down at the bottom it has the file name and add here. So I can navigate to whatever folder I want. Now in this case you'll notice that it's automatically putting a 1 on the end here. So I'm going to go ahead and add that file back into that location. And at this point, I'll refresh my screen over here, and you'll see that it added a second file. So this would be kind of the workflow where you've got an overlay file that you create and don't want to edit the original. And of course, I can double click on that file to open it up, and we'll see our markups that we made on top of it. So that completes the workflow on editing PDF files through an iPad. So once again, I'm Eddie Anderson, and you can always contact me via email at eddie.anderson@bentley.com, or you can follow me on Twitter or my website, ProjectWiseBlog.com. Thank you.